Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar for our Healthcare Ethics and Law programme, Inform Your Decision Making. I can see that everybody's just starting to settle in, so we'll just give you a few minutes just to get sorted, and then I can take you through an agenda and then we can get started going through the event today. So I can see that I've got our live viewers, but I know a lot of people will be watching back. So if you are watching back, if we've got any questions at all, you can still contact me at studyonline@manchester.ac.uk. And as I said, we will be having a Q&A session on the webinar as well, so it's a fantastic opportunity to ask our course academics any questions you have regarding the course itself. But as I said, I'll explain all of that in just a moment. I can see we're just getting everybody settling in. Wonderful to have you all join us today, and as I said, if you are watching back, it's nice that you could join us. Okay, great. Okay, so what can you expect from today's event? So I'll go through the brief introductions. I'll then cover online learning and why study at the University of Manchester. We'll then hand over to, as I said, our course directors, Caroline Hoyle and Katherine Stanton, and then they'll run through the course in a lot more detail. This is designed to provide you with an overview of the course and the structure and the units, and also just to provide you with some background as to why studying with us, will aid your professional development as well. So why should you study at the University of Manchester? Well, we are a leading research intensive university with 83% of our research is ranked as world leading or internationally excellent. Credibility wise, we are ranked 5th best university in the UK and 23rd best university in the world. The latter ranking has we've made our way up the pole or down the pole. Either way, we've gone to 23rd position, which is fantastic for all the team here, and that's just as per the Times Higher Education 2021 survey. We've got a fantastic alumni here. We've had 25 Nobel Prize winners who've worked or studied at the university, and as I'm sure some of you will know, the University of Manchester has been around for quite some time. We've been established since 1824, so we really do have that heritage and reputation as well. So studying online, all of the courses that we offer through our part-time online and blended learning options, they really are built around flexibility. They do allow you to plan your learning at a time and a place that suits you. Most of our students, they are in full-time employment, so the flexibility of our courses is key for them to make sure that they can, work alongside other commitments and studying. There's no such thing anymore as a typical online learning student either, which again is why we understand that flexibility is important and that it really has to work with you and your life. And again, just again, I think a lot of people think of online learning and you tend to think of sort of studying alone. That's certainly not the case anymore. There's lots of opportunities which we'll cover in the webinar for interaction with your your course peers, but also the course academics. So as I said, the sort of old school concept of online learning is very much not the case anymore, and we are keen to sort of explain why during today's event. So I know that we're sort of not here to listen to me talk, we are here to find out more about the course, and with that in mind, I'd like to hand over to one of our course directors, Caroline Hoyle.
Hi everyone, and welcome from me as well to this webinar. So I'm Caroline Hoyle. I'm the Joint Programme Director for the Postgraduate Online Programmes in Healthcare Ethics and Law with my colleague Katherine Stanton. Katherine, I'll just explain, Katherine was here, but her computer crashed just before we started the webinar. So obviously these things happen to us when we're all working from home and trying to do everything through Zoom. So Katherine's hoping to be back any moment. So I'm hoping she'll be able to introduce herself. But Katherine and I are the joint programme directors for these distance learning programmes. I'm a senior lecturer in criminal and medical law at the University of Manchester. I have a background in legal practice, so my background is as a practising solicitor, but I've been teaching now in higher education for many years. I am the course tutor, again with Katherine, for the core law module on our online healthcare ethics and law programmes, which is medico-legal problems. I've worked at university since 2012, and I teach a range of medical law courses. So I teach the campus-based medical law programmes as well as the distance learning ones. I am a teaching-focused academic, so I'm not research active, but I do have a particular interest in the law relating to the medical treatment of children, assisted reproduction and surrogacy. And I'm also involved in the Legal Advice Centre at the university, which provides pro bono advice to members of the public. We have a student-led law clinic, and I work with students supervising their work in the clinic. I'll carry on and introduce you to Katherine as she's not here. So this is Katherine, and I'm hoping you will see her face shortly. Katherine has been working at the university much longer than I. She joined in 2001, and she actually had started her academic career as a student on the distance learning LLM program. So she has been where you are now. And she has worked through, studied a PhD, and is now one of our course tutors. And Katherine's been teaching on the online programmes since they were launched in 2002. Katherine is a research active academic, and you can see there on the slide she has particular research interests in relation to confidentiality and privacy and genetic information. And also the role of criminal law in healthcare. So that's us.
Caroline, are you happy to continue? So no, we don't want we want to see Katherine, but are you okay if I just move on?
Yeah, you carry on. Yeah, sure. So, why should you study healthcare ethics and law at Manchester? We have a long established Centre for Social Ethics and Policy, and our centre was set up by Professor Margot Brazier and Professor John Harris many years ago. So we've been running these healthcare ethics and law courses since the 1980s, when John and Margot set up our centre. And as I said a couple of minutes ago, we started delivering online courses in 2002. So we've been running these online programmes in healthcare ethics and law for many years, very successfully. We're in the top 10 LLMs in the world for healthcare ethics and law, according to the LLM World Rankings of 2020. And you can see the link there on the slide to the LLM guide. And the university has made a huge investment in flexible and blended learning. And this is not just in the past year when the university has had to move all of its teaching into a blended or flexible format. But prior to that, the university had made some huge investments in developing its online program. So we have many years experience of teaching online. Thanks, Lisa. So healthcare raises many legal and ethical issues, as the slide says there, and studying on our programs we hope will enable you to acquire and develop skills and knowledge that will enable you to address these legal and ethical challenges, and will help you feel more confident about the decisions that you're making in your own clinical practice if you have a clinical background. Many of our students do come from clinical practice. So we will explore on our courses the key legal and ethical issues in healthcare. So for example, we will look at issues around consent. We will look at issues around confidentiality. We'll look at issues in relation to accessing scarce healthcare resources, which has been particularly relevant during the last year of the pandemic. And we'll reflect on the sort of challenges that healthcare workers face in the workplace when making these really difficult, sometimes ethical decisions. And we hope also that by studying with us, you will also expand your own network. So you will have an opportunity to meet virtually and possibly in person, and I'll talk a bit more about that later, a range of different students. Our students come from a really diverse range of backgrounds. So we have students from, as I say, lots of areas of healthcare practice, medicine, nursing, dentistry, midwifery. We also have students with a background in law. So some of you will have a legal background. Some of you may have a background in philosophy or some of the humanities area. So what makes this course a really interesting course to teach and to be a student on is this sort of very diverse nature of our students. And I'll talk a little bit more later about how you'll learn and how you'll benefit from that diversity. But as well as learning, it'll also give you an opportunity to, to widen your own network of contacts. And we hope it will also enhance your careers. Many of our students take our courses with a view maybe to changing their career path. Students will sometimes use the degree to move into some sort of regulatory role. Some students will use it as a stepping stone to an academic career and will move on to a PhD or some other further study. Thanks, Lisa. So the courses that we offer in healthcare, ethics and law are listed there on the slide. So there are 5 different courses that form our suite of courses. They're all fully online, so 100% online, and they're all part-time only, the online courses. So the idea is that they are fully flexible, and our students can fit study around their other work commitments, family commitments. So there's no requirement to attend campus at all. We do like to see our students, so if you do happen to be local to Manchester and you want to pop in and see us when we're back on campus, we're hoping we will be back sometime soon, then you're very welcome to come and see us, but there's no requirement to attend campus. So we offer 2 full master's programmes, an LLM and an MA in healthcare ethics and law, which are studied over 2 years. We offer a postgraduate diploma in healthcare ethics and law, which is studied over 18 months. And then we offer certificates in healthcare ethics and in healthcare law, which are studied over 15 months. And I'll explain the difference in the programmes a little bit in a few minutes. The entry requirements for the courses are set out on this slide. So for the full master's programmes, the LLM and the MA, we ask for a first class or an upper second class honours degree in a relevant discipline. And that's quite broad, relevant discipline. So it can be law, it can be medicine, dentistry, philosophy, religious studies. It's quite a broad range of disciplines that we would take students from. For the diploma, for the postgraduate diploma and for the certificates, we ask for a 2-2 honours degree or equivalent in a relevant discipline. However, for candidates who do not hold a first degree, we will still consider applications where the applicant can demonstrate professional competence. So where the applicant has professional experience in one of the in a relevant profession. So that might be one of the caring professions, such as nursing, midwifery, or it might be a paralegal experience working as a paralegal. So if you don't have that first degree, but you have other relevant professional experience, then we can still consider you for the certificate or the diploma. We also ask for evidence of competency in English language where the applicant does not have English as their first language. So we accept evidence from a range of English language tests, but we look for a score in the International English Language Testing System of 7 overall, with 7 in writing and no subtest of less than 6.5. And we're quite strict about that, in particular the writing score, because I'll talk about assessments a little bit later, but all of our assessment is by coursework. So it is important that where English is not someone's first language, they can demonstrate that competence in written English language. So the next slide details the structures, and in fact the next few slides will take you through the course structure for the different programs that we offer. And this can be a little bit confusing, but essentially they're quite similar. So there will be common taught components to each of the programs. So if you're studying on the LLM, you'll be studying the same core modules as a student on the MA and on the diploma. So if I start with the LLM, and you can see there on the slide that the courses that you will study first are the 3 core modules. So these core modules are designed to give you the grounding, the underpinning knowledge in ethics and in law. So you will study, first of all, in the September when you start, philosophical bioethics, which is our core ethics module. And students will study this module from September until January. The next module that you study is medico-legal problems. This is the module that I teach, and this is the core law module. And you'll study medico-legal problems from February until the May of the first year. We then have a bit of a break, so you have a little bit of a summer holiday, and then year 2 will start in September, and then you study the 3rd core compulsory module, which is international issues in healthcare law and ethics, and you'll study that until the November of year 2. You'll then, from November to April, you'll be studying your 2 optional subjects. It says options, but actually, if you're on the LLM pathway, there's no choice. You have to study the 2 law options. So you'll study medicine, law, and society from November until January, and then you'll study mental health law from February till April. And that is then all of the taught modules completed. The final module is the dissertation module, which you will start from May, and the dissertation is submitted in the September of year 2. The dissertation is a 10 to 12,000 word independent research project, which you will work under the supervision rather of an academic tutor who will be your supervisor. And if you're studying on the LLM, then your dissertation should have a law focus. So that's the LLM. The MA is exactly the same up until the options period. So exactly the same for the first year, and then international issues in year 2. But then when you come to the options, you do have more choice on the MA. So if you're studying the MA, you can choose either medicine, law and society or research ethics as your first option, and then you have a second choice for option 2 between mental health law and ethics, genetics and genomics. So there's more flexibility if you're on the MA programme. And then for the dissertation, you can choose, if you're an MA student, to do a law or an ethics dissertation. And you don't need to make that decision until the second year. So if you're on the MA, you can see how you perform in the law and the ethics assessments, see which discipline you feel most comfortable with or you're most interested in, and then you can make your options choices and your dissertation focus choice in the second year. The diploma, the postgraduate diploma, again, the 3 core modules are exactly the same. So philosophical bioethics, medical legal problems and international issues. And then again, you have a choice of options, just as you do with the MA. The same option choices as there were for the MA. The only difference with the diploma, obviously, is there's no dissertation at the end of it. Students who are on the diploma programme can, if they wish to, apply to transfer up to the full masters. So if you're doing very well in your studies and your marks are at master's level, then you can decide to apply to sort of step up to the full masters, because all you need to do then, if your application is approved, is complete the dissertation module once you've finished all the talk components. So sometimes students come to us, and particularly if they've been out of academic study for a while, they might feel that they're not sure they want to commit to a full masters, or they might not have the required academic qualifications. So students on the diploma do have that option, provided they've got the grades in the taught modules to upgrade to the full masters. The diploma, sorry, the certificates, again, different structures depending on whether you're on the healthcare law certificate or the healthcare ethics certificate. If you're on the healthcare law certificate, the course there doesn't start until February. So if anybody is listening and that is the course they're interested in, you would start in the February of 2022. You'd study medical legal problems, the big core law module, from February until May. You would then have a break until the following November, and then you would come back and you'd study medicine, law and society, and from November to January, and then mental health law from February till April. If you are studying the certificate in healthcare ethics, you would start in September of 2021 with philosophical bioethics. You would then go on to study ethics, genetics and genomics in February, and then you would have a break between April and November, and then you would come back and study the second ethics option, research ethics. So the next slide just sets out how you study. So how do you learn when you are a distance learning student on one of our programs? Now it says there at the top of the slide, the recommended study time is 15 hours a week. So students often ask us, you know, how much time am I going to spend studying on the course, so they can try and work out if they can manage it. And it's really hard to give a precise estimate of that, because everybody reads at different speeds, everybody works at different pace, people have different commitments. But as a very broad guide, we would say you need to devote around 15 hours a week to your study. Oh, here's Katherine back again. Welcome, Katherine.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I've had hideous technical issues. So
that's all right.
Nice to have you.
I introduced you virtually, Katherine, and I explained that yeah, you were having problems. So I'll just carry on, shall I? And then
yes, you carry on. Sorry, everyone.
That's all right. The way that we deliver all of our courses is through our virtual learning environment, which and the platform we use is called Blackboard. All of our course materials, the reading lists, You will be given access to online textbooks. They are all accessed via this virtual learning platform, Blackboard. We produce our own in-house course materials, so each of the modules or course units that you study will have a set of materials that we produce ourselves, that we write ourselves, and we update every year. And you will access those materials through Blackboard. They're available in 2 formats, and they are sort of fully interactive. So, you know, you can fill bits in online, you can click links that will take you to other sources, and you can also just download them as a PDF. You will have support, academic support, through a course tutor for each of the course units. So your tutor will provide you with direction and support throughout the course, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a few minutes. But you do have a tutor who you can go to with questions, and who will provide you with feedback on your assignments. As I said earlier, all of the course units are assessed by coursework. So there's no exams, it's all coursework. And you will be given quite detailed feedback each time you do an assignment. And the idea is that you'll use that feedback so that you understand how to improve in your next piece of work. There's lots of opportunity to learn as a sort of community. So we do want you to feel part of you know, an online community, and we will try and foster that sense of community through using tools such as discussion boards. We use something called VoiceThread, which allows you to record little videos introducing yourself or chatting with each other. So, you know, you will, as I said at the beginning of this presentation, you'll learn a lot from each other as well. And what makes this course so interesting is that we do have this really great mix of students from different backgrounds, as I said earlier. You'll have access to some other resources as well that are university-wide resources. So there is a package which our library has produced called My Learning Essentials, which is a really brilliant, and it has won awards, package of resources that helps you with academic skills such as critical thinking, essay writing, referencing, and you know, they're really excellent and can be really helpful, especially if you've been away from academic study for a while. And you'll have access to our online library. And again, you'll be given access to the library once you've registered, and there is a whole range of resources there, legal databases, lots of journal articles. So, you know, you don't need to be near a physical library. You will be able to access everything you need really through the online library. And I've already mentioned the interactive materials for each course unit. In terms of other support as well, as Lisa said at the beginning of the presentation, you know, you're not on your own just because you're studying as a distance learning student. We have a fantastic course administrator, Leanne Chewett, who will deal with sort of day-to-day sort of administrative type queries. So, you know, often, you know, students have questions about, you know, the assignments and dates, and if they're planning holidays, they like to know when assessments are due in, and Leanne can help with all those sorts of queries, questions about extensions, and so on. So Leanne is your sort of first point of contact really for day-to-day administrative queries. You'll also be assigned a study advisor. The study advisor is Craig Donaldson, and Craig's part of the University of Manchester Worldwide Central Online Learning Team, and he helps with sort of technical support. So he will help you to navigate your way around Blackboard, and he can provide you with advice about sort of technical issues, problems with accessing the material or accessing your feedback. Then Craig will help with that. And Craig will provide students with a sort of full induction in relation to the online resources at the beginning of the course. You'll have academic tutors, as I've already said, who will give you support as you're working through a course unit. The academic tutors provide sort of regular weekly online office hours when you can drop in and talk to us face to face through Blackboard. And obviously you can also email tutors and arrange one-to-one meetings if you need that, if you just want to chat about something, or if you've got questions about feedback. And you'll learn a lot from each other as well. So I've talked already about the benefits of being part of this much wider online community of learners. You can also access support through the university services. We have a great student support and wellbeing team. We have a counselling service which you can access as a student. And I've already talked about the library and the extensive learning materials that the library provides. So that's enough of me, I think. I'll hand back to Lisa.
Wonderful, thank you, Caroline. Thank you very much. And as I said, Katherine, nice to have you back with us. We've got some questions come through, which I'll pose to you as to get some input. Just a couple of points as well. I hope you've all enjoyed the presentation today and found that extremely informative. We appreciate there's a lot of information to take in regards to the different entry routes and the units involved with each of those. So if you do want to have some more information with regards to one of the particular units, so for example the LLM or the MA, please do contact me at studyonline@manchester.ac.uk, because I can always send you a PDF version of what we've talked about today, just so you can have a look through at your own time. Another point just to make as well, I know we've covered all of the support you have during your studies, which is fantastic, and as I said, we really are wanting to let students know that studying online doesn't mean studying alone. However, before you actually submit and begin studying with us, I'm here to support you as well with any questions you have regarding your application. This course is extremely popular. We have got a lot of applicants already, so even though the next intake isn't going to be until September 2021, I would absolutely recommend, if you are considering studying with us, please do contact me and start working on your application sooner rather than later, just to make sure we can secure you a place, because as I said, we are now accepting applications and we've had a large number already. So any questions regarding any of the course or as I said, any of the application process, please do just let me know, and as I said, I can be contacted at studyonline@manchester.ac.uk. I know we've had a couple of questions come through, which I know we're pretty much running near enough on time with the webinar today, but if I could just maybe pose them to yourself, Katherine. So we've had a question come through that says, I don't have a law background, can I still join the course?
Absolutely. We don't presume any knowledge at all on the law. So as long as you meet the entry criteria on the other grounds, so you have a degree in something else, for example, then that's absolutely fine. And we take you from the beginning, we don't assume knowledge. So yes, absolutely, you don't need a background in law.
And the same, I guess, would apply if you've come from, if you've maybe not got a medical background, you don't necessarily have to have that to also join the course, the sort of flip side of that.
Absolutely, yes, that's right.
Wonderful. I know this is a question we get asked quite a lot. It's one that I sort of come across, but it's come through again. It's just, what can I expect to go on to do after I finish the course? So I know people are often keen to know, where will the course take me? From experience, I know you've had conversations with students as well. Could you provide any information on that?
Absolutely. Well, a lot of people use it just to develop their understanding in their current role. So a lot of people just use it for professional development in the role that they're in at present. Other people use it to sort of sidestep into something else. So some people have gone to work, say, for the General Medical Council in that capacity, and obviously having this qualification is useful. Other people change track completely. We've had people then decide to do a PhD and move into academia. So really it depends on what your interest is, and we're always very happy to chat over what you might use the degree for, and talk about what other students have done in the past.
I know there's a couple of really good student stories as well, isn't there, on the main course webpage, which I think I would absolutely recommend anybody to watch, because they're very informative and provide insight into, you know, some of our previous students, obviously what they did before, and then obviously why they studied. So I'd absolutely encourage everyone to have a look again at the main course webpage. Just conscious of time, I've got just one more question to come through. Caroline, I know you briefly covered this within the presentation today, but someone's asked, can I progress to the LLM if I study the PG Dip?
Yes, absolutely. So if a student is on the PG, on the diploma, and they are achieving marks at master's level, so that means that you need to get at least 50% in your assignments, then you can apply to upgrade to the LLM or the MA. The talk components are exactly the same for the diploma as for the MA. The difference with the diploma or the masters or the LLM, the difference is that you complete the dissertation module if you want to graduate with the full masters. So if your marks are at master's level when you've completed all of the talk components, then you can apply to upgrade, if you like, to the LLM or the MA.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, well that's everything we've got time for today. So just like to say a massive thank you to both Caroline and Katherine for joining us today. As I said, if any students have any questions in regards to what was covered in the presentation today, or if you're watching back, please do contact me. As I said, you know, we are accepting applications now for our September 2021 intake. So as I said, I would really encourage you to apply sooner rather than leaving it closer to the time. There's also some fantastic resource available linked to the course. So for those who haven't maybe looked at the course webpage, I would encourage you to have a look on there, because again, you can see the student stories, but also there's some information regarding one of our free online MOOC courses, which is a fantastic intermediate study option for those who are looking to join us. So again, you can find further details on the course webpage. But as I said, it's been a great event today. Caroline, Katherine, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Just one thing to add as well, just in case people are interested, I think you can also you can have a look at a sample of the course material as well. So yeah, if you want to have a look at just see an example of what the in-house materials look like, I think there's a link you can click on through the website, isn't there, Lisa?
There is, absolutely, yeah. So another great piece of resource right there, which is it's a PDF you can download, have a look through that, and as Caroline said, it's a good insight into, you know, what you can expect from the course. So lots of resource available, but as I said, we're also here to help. So any questions in regards to your application, as I said, please do contact me and we can arrange a call to go through everything. But yeah, thank you so much both of you for joining us today, and we hope that our viewers have enjoyed the webinar.